Hey all, this is Ed Tom. It's been a while since I touched base with you all, so I figured I'd drop an update video here to let you guys know what's happening roughly throughout the first half of 2024. First, a little bit about myself actually. I try to keep the personal stuff on the down low for the most part because, you know, you're just here for Let's Plays and whatnot, but since it relates to how much content gets put out, I figured I'd sort of go into what's going on IRL. Basically, I'm finally starting to appreciate my health, so to speak, so I'm going to be undergoing a number of appointments IRL, some for my weight, obviously, others for my mind, just to try and get everything in order, you know, make sure it's tip-top and whatnot. So if I seem a bit off on some days, or some days, you know, there's no content because I just need some time to myself, that's why. And that's basically all I can say about that without, you know, divulging personal details. So I'm going to leave it there. You guys have nothing to worry about. It's nothing super serious. It's just something that's been a long time coming. Patreon stuff. Next, you guys may know that we have stopped taking TV and movie.com commissions just so the backlog doesn't continue to grow until it's completely out of control. We have replaced the top tier with what we deem platinum exclusives. These can be any type of video, quick looks mostly for the time being, and they can range from anywhere from about 40 minutes to 3 hours, the last one I did. And if you're on the $20 tier, every 15 days or so, you get a new one. So while we're working on TV comms and whatnot, more of that in a second, you'll get a new video every fortnight. And fortnight, a bit of change. Got a couple of cool ones coming up in March. On March 1st, we have my first look at Pal World. And then on the 15th, there's the 3-hour monster that I mentioned with Dave the Diver. Now, as for TV comms and movie comms, recording and whatnot, in March particularly, I have a lot of appointments waiting for me. So there's going to be a lot of stress and going on in there. So we're going to start recording again in April. So once again, I'm asking for your patience, but it will probably be for the best because I don't want to put out subpar stuff. Well, if you can call our regular stuff anything but subpar, but you know what I'm saying there. So April, around then, is when we're getting back to TV.com recording. And as for the general health of the Patreon, well, it seems health is a running theme this update video. Things are going okay right now. Obviously there was a big drop-off in pledges once we stopped taking monthly TV.com orders, but that's to be expected. I currently have enough to pay my rent, pay some stuff to the co-coms each month, but if you wanted to go ahead and pledge to help keep the channel running, that would be very much appreciated. It's not urgent or anything right now, I just wanted to let you know of the changes and whatnot. Thank you very much for continuing to support us, even if you don't pledge to the Patreon. Honestly, you guys turning up and watching our videos, even after 15 years or so, is very much appreciated. It's nice to have regulars, you know? Alright, next big thing, the charity marathon for 2024. This is probably going to disappoint a lot of you, but there is no charity marathon this year. Basically, the one in 2023 wiped us out. We were knackered. Completely trashed after that, and we just decided we need a year's break. But there are going to be a couple of smaller, like, day-long charity marathons throughout the year. I know Spa has one planned, and I'm probably going to do one on my birthday in November as well, so there's still going to be events, just no big one this year. That said, if you guys would like to put forward some suggestions for the 2025 HFC Charity Marathon, please do, because right now I only have a smattering of ideas, and it's always good to draw from the community. Last thing, before we get to the Q&A backlog, upcoming Let's Plays. You know, we're currently doing Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, just to make that very clear, because there's a lot of Spider-Man 2s out there. After that's done, it will either be Super Mario 64 or Pokemon Scarlet. Now, personally, I would go towards Mario 64, just because it's a shorter playthrough. It's a 120-star run, take about a few weeks, and then Pokemon Scarlet will be obviously a long run with Spar and I. And I feel it would be better to do it in that order, but what do you guys think in that regard? And also, are there any games you guys want to see on the channel? I very rarely ask you guys, because I already have an idea of what I want HFC to cover, but I feel like introducing some community ideas would be good at this point. The only thing I ask is maybe don't select every RPG out there, because they just take far too long, honestly, and I don't want to lose interest halfway through, you know? That's the worst thing for a playthrough. There might be some smaller playthroughs in between these, but for the most part we're going to stick to doing one at a time, just so it's easier to get content out to you all. Alright, that's it for the regular updates. Now for the big old Q&A backlog. Here we go. Alrighty, question and answer time. Just be aware that since these are all backlogged, you will see the same names pop up again and again from month to month, so just to let you know. First question comes from Ronald D. Rankin. How would you rank your favourite JoJo part from favourite to least favourite? Ooh, that's tough, because I haven't read 8 and 9 is still ongoing. I would say my favourite part, hand on heart, would have to be 7, because it's just like so different to the others, yet it still has all the things that makes JoJo great, like stand battles, comedy, etc. And I would have to say my least favourite, feels kind of bad to say this, but maybe Phantom Blood, the very first one. It's not quite JoJo yet, it's got all the, you know, things you want besides stands in there, like a great protagonist, a good villain, but it's still simmering. They gotta let it cook, you know? Honestly, I don't think there's a bad JoJo part. All of them have been pretty good from what I've read so far. But yeah, 7 for the best, 1 for the least best, let's say. Next question is from Ronald D. Rankin again. Would you ever get a cat cam so Jiro can make guest appearances on live streams? What, like Kegel Cats? Whatever the Twitter name is? Probably not, because 1, my room is a fucking tip. I'm really trying to get on top of it right now. And 2, Jiro is very squirrely. I doubt he would want to stay in place for very long, you know what I mean? But it's a good idea, Ronald, it's a good idea. Shadow Reaper asks, how do you find actual good sponsors? I keep getting approached by mobile games and stuff that wants to pay me only if people sign up. Well, I use a website called Rainmaker, where essentially you submit a form, basically saying, yes, I would like a code for this game, and they decide whether or not you're applicable for it, so you can either get approved or denied. I get a lot of those mobile sponsorship ads thrown at me as well. I'm not really fond of those sorts of things, and honestly, I would only really take a sponsorship if it's something I already have an interest in, you know, so you kind of have to pick and choose and whatnot. Sometimes it's not about being like a big channel, because HFC has never been a big channel, it's about who and what you know. Roll again. If Sega announced a Dreamcast mini console, tell me some games you'd want to be on it. Well, obviously you got to get SA1 and SA2 on there. I don't think the originals are widely available as I would like. You know, if you play it on Steam, for example, you're better off getting the better SADX or whatever it's called mod that gives you like the original 3D models. You have mission mode in there. It's basically the best of SA1 and SADX mashed together, and it's wonderful. But besides that, Jet Set Radio, Choo Choo Rocket, Space Channel 5, there's a lot of good games on the Dreamcast, lots of which I haven't played. So yeah, I would have to defer to the audience to fill it up besides those that I mentioned. The Nova Rider asks, favourite card game with a normal deck of 52? I don't really play card games outside of like TCGs all that much. Blackjack, I guess? Does that count? Because it uses a regular deck, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can add up to 20, so yeah, Blackjack is where I go for, or what I go for with normal card games. Gold Member asks, what would you say has been the best year for gaming personally? It could be because of the games that came out that year, or maybe the games you played in that year. Well, for classic stuff, you can't go wrong with 1998. That was basically a hallmark year for gaming. Let's have a look here. Let's see what came out in that year. There's some big ones. Ooh. The Game Boy Light and the Game Boy Color came out in that year, and so did the Dreamcast. Critically acclaimed titles: Ocarina of Time, Tekken 3, Sonic Adventure, Resident Evil 2, Metal Gear Solid, Virtua Fighter 3TB, whatever the hell that is, Dragon Quest Monsters, Beat Mania, Ridge Racer Type 4, Crash Bandicoot 3, Street Fighter Zero 3. An amazing year. Honestly, we wouldn't have one like that for quite a while. 2023 was pretty good for me as well, because you had amazing titles like Pikmin 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, obviously Tears of the Kingdom, and this year, 2024, is already shaping up to be pretty good. So, yeah, I would say 1998 for classic, 2023 for modern, but I'm sure you guys have years that you would like to chime in with as well, so please let me know. Roll again. What is your top 5 spooky Halloween-themed movies? Can you tell how far this backlog goes? Now, this is interesting, because I don't really watch live-action horror stuff all that much for Halloween. It's more animated. So, I'll just give you some Scooby-Doo ones. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, obviously. Classic. Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Then we'll throw in stuff like the Halloween Tree. Ooh, now this is where it gets tricky, because I'm having to think here. And for 4 and 5, I'm just going to give you, like, Halloween episodes. Anything from Hey Arnold is pretty good. They knew how to spook it up. And for number 5, ooh. I'm thinking. Hell, let's go with Night at the Werehog for Sonic, you know what I mean? So there you go, Ronald, my top 5. Shadow Reaper asks, of the 5 flavour groups, what is your favourite? I'm sure you mean like sweet, savoury, etc. Savoury, honestly. I had one too many packets of crisps growing up and into my adult life. So, let's say I'm trying to mix it up a little bit now. Sweet is fine, but, I don't know, a little bit too rich for me. The Nova Rider asks, what inactive game franchise would you like to come back the most? Inactive, eh? Inactive, he says. I say, trying to stall for time. Well, shit. Spyro, I guess. Let's see if Microsoft can actually do anything with Activision. But yeah, the answer is Spyro. Rolled again. He always seems to get in first with these. Before you got into commentary, did you have anything else you wanted as a career when you were a kid? Well, yeah, like anyone of my status, shall we say, I wanted to be a game designer. Then I realised you needed to be like good at maths and coding for that, so that went out the window. Then it was a journalist. Then I realised my English skills were far, far away from what they wanted, standard-wise. So, thankfully, Let's Playing became a thing for me. So, yeah, let's just say that saved me from unemployment, shall we say, because I'm self-employed. Gore member again. Since HFC never really clickbaits on the LP video titles or thumbnails, what's your opinion on the insane rise of YouTube clickbaits? Has it ever hampered your enjoyment of any channels or videos? It can be a bit obnoxious. You know, I'm not gonna poo-poo anyone for trying to get on the grind, as it were, because YouTube is oversaturated nowadays, and it can be hard to get your face out there. Sometimes you need to, you know, do what they call the soy face to stand out. But let's just say it's not for me. Not a fan. But if you want to do it, hey, I'm not going to judge you, unless it's like super tacky. The Nova Rider asks, what celebrity would you like to have dinner with? Well, he's no longer with us, but Anthony Bourdain. Dude went all over the world, had some of the best food imaginable, and just seemed like a really interesting guy. He's one of the celebrities that I probably miss the most. Yeah, that's a little bit parasocial, but fuck it, we grow attached to these celebrities. They're elevated for a reason, you know. Some are good people, like Tony, even with moments of darkness in his past. And you know, you have the other kind. But to answer your question, I'm going to go with Anthony Bourdain. Goldmember asks, picking each of these medium, which one video game you really enjoyed would you like to see adapted into a live action, a 2D animated, and CG show? Ooh, one video game. Honestly, I feel Professor Layton could work pretty well, because we already have 2D animated in terms of like Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. CG would probably work decently, and live action, you know, you don't need to find someone with Layton's head shape, just do it as a regular dude. I'm a sucker for mystery shows, you know. Raldy Rankin asks, what are your top 5 favourite rock bands? Oh, this is tricky, even more so than the thing with the 5 horror movies, because music is probably my biggest blind spot when it comes to pop culture. Let me look up rock bands here and see if any appeal to me. Let's have a look here. The 100 best rock bands of all time. Are the Beatles really rock? I guess they are. You got the Rolling Stones, Prince of the Revolution, Queen, there's one. Guns N' Roses is pretty good. AC/DC. I'm just listing off stuff on the list here, but you get the point. Yeah, I can't really give you 5, so you'll have to go with 3. Queen, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. Shadow Reaper asks, what have you learned since you started the Patreon? You will never get out on top if things keep getting added to the pile of work you already have. Hence why, after so many years, we've stopped taking commissions and are trying to chip away at that backlog, you know? It's a flaw of mine. I aim to please, but I never really understand my limitations until it's too late, so... Raldy Rankin asks, what was your favourite gift you got for Christmas 2023? Ooh, it's hard to remember at this point. My short-term memory is pretty awful, but I think I got some nice new slippers. I'm appreciating slippers more and more as I grow older, because they keep your feet nice, warm and toasty. Revenant asks, what was your best highlight of 2023? All of the games, I would say. Yeah, pretty obvious answer for a shut-in, but like I mentioned in an earlier question, this is another hallmark year for gaming, I feel. Goldmember asks, will the new Platinum tier video cover the older quick looks? Not exactly sure what you mean here, Goldmember, but no, none of the outstanding regular quick looks will be behind a paywall. They're going to be worked on as soon as we have a moment. The Platinum tier stuff is one new video every 15 days for people pledging, you know, $20. Ronald D. Rankin asks, what would you say was your biggest highlight in 2023? Well, I'm going to have to say the games. Oh, man, I watched Eric from Blind Wave finish off Jedi Survivor for the first time last night. I gotta tell you, that was some good shit, getting to relive that ending through someone else's eyes. Shadow Reaper asks, what's your favourite block in Minecraft? Thank you, Shadow. Always throwing me curveballs. There. I don't really play Minecraft, but anything that goes boom is top-notch in my book. Last few questions here. Do you have a current game that you like to relax with? I guess right now it's Power World. I got like 45 hours in that sucker, and I've only beaten 2 of the bosses in it, so yeah, just going around the world, catching stuff, leveling up. I do wish it was deeper than just crafting and catching, because right now I still feel Pokemon has the edge, even if Power World is the new shiny boy on the street. It's a lot of fun to just stick around with, I will say. I was a little bit cynical going in, and there are still a lot of cynical flags surrounding it and inside of it. But playing the game itself, yeah, it's fun. So that's the one I relax with currently. Revenant asks, have you thought about trying out more Star Wars games for this year? Since the release of the Dark Forces remaster and Battlefront 1 and 2 collections are coming. I definitely want to pick up the Battlefront collection, because I really enjoyed those games back on the PS2. Never played Dark Forces, but seems interesting. This is coming shortly after EA is laying off a bunch of people and focusing solely on like the Jedi games and stuff like that, and they cancelled the Mandalorian first-person shooter like 5 days after they announced it, so I'm a little bit pissed, even more so for the people who lost their jobs. But yeah, Battlefront collection, there's your answer. And the final one, what are your hopes for Pokemon ZA/Zeta from Goldmember? They've called it ambitious. The American Nintendo account says it's set entirely within Lumiere City. I hope we get to go outside the bounds of the city, into the wilderness a little bit. I still want free-throwing, catching, like in the first Legends and in Power World. That felt so immersive, honestly. I think we've always wanted that in Pokemon. give us a good story as well, because I felt the story in Arceus was good, but it was very light until the end game. But I definitely loved the fish out of water type of thing. So yeah, and oh yeah, I hope it runs well. I hope they've delayed. Well, they've put it in 2025 because it's also launching on the Switch 2. They said it's launching simultaneously. A lot of people took that to mean launching on Switch and Switch 2. No, that's just language-wise. They've always said it like that. And yeah, I hope it runs well. I hope it maintains what made Legends Arceus so cool. I'm really looking forward to it. And that's it for the backlog of Q&A questions. Thank you all so much for sending these in, and thank you for waiting for me to get off my arse, sit back down on my arse and answer these. That'll do it for this HFC update, folks. Lots of good stuff coming with more Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Upcoming, we got Super Mario 64 and Pokemon Scarlet. Again, you can let us know which order you want to see those in. And yeah, HFC is going to go from strength to strength in 2024. We hope to bring you lots of good stuff to enjoy. Bye for now.